Good angles, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a really rushed episode of Talking Pictures with Talking Pictures. My name's Angie Bangy.
My name is Coley. 70 is the best angle.
Name Jaycee.
My name is Shane Joseph Smiskol III.
Yeehaw, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for a hoedown?
Oh boy. So,
Hoedown.
this episode, we talk about 3 objectively bad, that's a joke, superhero movies called Spider-Man.
They are
1,
objectively
1,
bad,
2, and bad.
Spider-Man
Look at the
2,
picture. It's a picture
Spider-Man
of her being a bad
with
person.
Tonkey McGueeler as Pengy Ponkus.
Coley enjoyed this picture as a small child.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that scene's so gross. What Coley's referring to is on the back of my DVD edition, the full screen edition, by the way.
Is there an interactive CD-ROM?
Of Spider-Man
There's
1.
a game?
There's a picture of Mary Jane Watson, whose name is repeated 1,000 times during those movies, kissing an upside-down, wrinkly, leathery Spider-Man face in the rain. So,
Activision PC game, 2 playable levels.
What?
yeah, we're immediately plugging that in.
Can we
after,
do that right now while we're
stop
doing the
recording.
podcast?
Yes. CD-ROM, yeah.
Interactive CD-ROM.
And Peter Parker, Return of the Goblin, Spider-Man Visualizer, yeah, so many cool special features.
Wow, I remember when
Dude,
when this movie came
the
out.
list of features, it's like credits going down the whole...
Yeah, have fun fucking scrolling over to them because you can't see where the goddamn thing is on the menu.
yeah.
Hi, my name's
Yeah,
Coley.
that's true.
When did this movie come out? 01
2002.
or 02? Oh yeah.
I think it was 2002, 2004, 2006. Don't check my dates on that, people.
I
We
thought
should...
it
Let's
was
start...
1982.
That sounds accurate.
Whoa, David. Whoa.
Yeah, okay, we should say that Shane literally thought, as we were watching the first one, when Jaycee and I said that it came out in 2002, he was like, "What?
Oh yeah.
No." He's like, "No."
this
He's
is
like,
like
"No."
80,
He was like,
right?
"No. This is the 80s, right? There's no way." He's like, "This is like Batman with Michael Keaton."
Yeah, Tobey Maguire is
Tonkey
55
McMiler.
now.
He is.
He was when he was Peter Parker. He
Yeah.
looked
Yeah,
like,
he looks like an adult child.
And
We,
they try to
we made a joke about whenever the first scene opens and he's running after the bus driver like looks in the rear view and
He's
we
like,
made
that's a
joke-
grown ass
We
man.
made a joke that was like, who's this 30-year-old man who's trying to get on my bus?
I will say that.
Also, it happens twice that he misses the bus, and like at one point he's literally standing on the street and the bus passes and he runs after it the second time and then his hand like sticks and rips the paper, and I was like, why don't you go to the bus stop? Because like it seems like he has to run after the bus and be like, stop, like every time.
Just be
Go-
early,
It's going
Peter.
down.
No, and it's not even
Have
like,
responsibilities.
but like he's standing in a spot and it drives down the street and then passes him. So clearly he's not at a bus stop. You have to go to a bus stop for the bus to stop for you. That's how it works.
Dumb motherfucker.
Pangy Pongus.
I will say out of all the Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire is a great one, but
Shocky
he
McSquealer.
he definitely looks like a 30-year-old man.
Oh, 100%.
He does not look like a teenager. You know who does look like a teenager?
Me.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Who's that?
AKA the best Spider-Man.
Yes, agreed. All right, well that's our podcast this week.
Enjoyed
See you
it.
next time.
You can smell the fumes of the cleaning chemicals that reside right next to our
You
faces.
didn't have to
I
bring that up.
Wait, Tom Hewlin.
Yeah,
Tom Hewlin?
Yeah, Tom Hewlin, of course.
There he
God.
is.
Please, all right.
He does look like a teenager.
A little homework for the audience at home. Google Tom Hewlin.
How do you spell that?
How did you spell it?
He like
Tom.
Hewlin, like Hewlin Mall.
And then
H-U-L-E-N.
Yeah, everybody knows. The Hewlin Mall.
Yeah, type in Tom H-U-L-E-N and just look at the first picture and you'll see how funny that was. So not super.
So not super.
All right.
But you know what is super? Not the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Coley likes them. So Coley talk.
Okay, so we should start off by saying that I was not present for the wonderful viewing of these movies, so I haven't seen all 3 of them seriously without like catching half of one on cable in like several years.
We should also mention that we sat down and watched all 3 movies.
All 3 of them.
Consecutively
Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of
we
skipped
took-
through the last one.
Yeah, we
Well,
skipped little bits
But
just
we
'cause
watched
we were,
like most of
yeah,
it,
we
I
did.
would say.
We watched a good hour and a half of that 2 hour and 15-minute movie.
Because
And the way it sort of happened was throughout the entire first one, we were dying laughing a lot and pausing it and making comments and joking about how bad it was.
we even stopped to go get food. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
Like, we're hungry.
Yeah, and then during the second one, it's admittedly a much better movie, And it was just harder to quantify, I think, the elements of it that are bad. So we were just kind of sitting there bored.
Right.
And then in the third one, we just fast forwarded because we were jaded and angry and bitter. Because
The third one's not great. I might have not seen these
personally
movies
believe none of
very
them
soon. But out of all of them, I think the third one is the worst.
probably.
The first one is, while I think they're all campy and weird, the first one feels kind of out of place. I think, to me, it just feels...
I think all of them feel very out of place.
Well, I mean,
every
in the
single
theme of the
scene
trilogy.
just comes out of nowhere.
Well, and I think that's the part about the movie that I actually really enjoy is how campy it is and how like. And
That's not camp to me though. That's a structure problem.
well,
Personally.
no. Okay, well, structure and camp is one other thing.
No.
Like Anthony was talking about earlier, how the movie kind of just and like does stuff. Like I just watched the last episode of The Office, and it starts and it's like 1 year later, and I was like, what?
What were you watching?
Why?
Did you watch the rest of the season up
Yeah,
until that
I
point?
did, but I
Well, it's because the series ends when they watch the... This is a different conversation, but
This
the
is a different
series ends
conversation.
when they watch the documentary. And then they even say in the next episode, this is going on the DVD extras for the documentary.
To
so
me,
it's a year later. Okay, I got you.
It's besides the point. What I'm saying is that random time jumps make me angry. So
This was a really random time jump, so much as he's a teenager, and then he fights Macho Man Randy Savage, and then his uncle gets killed, and then he's a legendary Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Within a span of 15 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
It was a little rough. But sorry, continue. I don't want to like step on. what you're saying.
But
I don't want to step on your shitty opinions, bitch.
Whoa, the bitch was
this has
not
been our
listening.
episode of Talking
Not cool.
Pictures with Talking Pictures. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful podcast about the single best superhero. No, I'm just kidding. I think this can bring up a very interesting point. Is I think the reason why these things are so embedded in as a good thing in my brain is because they were a part of my childhood, which comes to an eventual point
My thing also.
Yeah.
of nostalgia
They totally
versus
are in my childhood
actually
as well.
like, because like what's another thing that people are like, this leads into our last episode, Star Wars. Everybody's nostalgic about Star Wars and holds these movies to the highest standard possible. Well, that's why.
I know people that don't watch Star Wars.
That's why everybody.
You gotta watch your words, dude. You can't say everybody.
That's why everybody shit on The Last Jedi, because it wasn't like their Star Wars movies when they were kids. Which I think I truly believe that if I really sat down and I watched all three of these movies, I would have a differing opinion. But for right now, from what I remember of them, they are just they are not. They're not gonna win any. Anthony, shut the hell up.
Any awards because they're not good.
Yes. But also continue.
I don't think that they will
Ever be good.
You're completely dicing my entire train of thought.
Sorry.
Sort of like the train in Spider-Man 2.
Oh!
Sorry.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Hey, yo, homie, you ever seen Collateral with Tom Cruise?
Yes.
There's this part where it's like at the very beginning of the movie, and Jamie Foxx plays the cab driver that drives
Famey jocks.
hitman Tom Cruise around, and Tom Cruise goes to shoot a dude in the face a whole bunch.
Oh,
and these guys rob Jamie Foxx, who has
Take
Tom
his
Cruise's
briefcase.
briefcase, and they walk away. And Tom Cruise is like, "What happened?" And he's like, "They took the briefcase, beat the shit out of me." He's like, "Okay," and he walks up because they're basically like two gangbangers. And Tom Cruise walks up and he's like, "Yo, homie, is that my briefcase?" It's just the whitest thing ever. But then he fucking like he like wastes these dudes, and it's really sketchy. And that's a great movie. You should watch Collateral.
So
It's
is
such a good
all
movie.
of Tom Cruise. A little sketchy.
Yeah, great actor. Just don't do research about shit.
Yeah.
And don't try to find a YouTube video where he salutes a painting of their dead Scientology founder.
Oh, yoinks.
And don't read about what he did to his kids with Katie Holmes.
What did he do to his kids?
He just, well, nothing to his kids, but he just made it very, very difficult for Katie Holmes to have those children.
I would like to officially say, by the way, Talking Pictures, the first ever pro Scientology podcast. Woo! Woo! L. Ron Hubbard is my shit! Yeah! Thetans! Get him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call satire.
Nope.
Nope, I was
100%
just kidding.
earnest.
That's what you call satire.
That's what you
Satirical
call
satire.
That's what you call a sad tire.
That's what you call a sad tire.
All right, let's talk about Spider-Man.
What about Spider-Man?
Shane? What were your thoughts? Shane,
Well, I missed the beginning. So what happened in the beginning?
what was the first thing you saw?
I remember Uncle Ben, and I think
Uncle Ben's meal. What the hell?
whatever happened
Stop
before
it!
we went to the.
It's like all of my water.
They're constant like drinking and like clicking and like noise like all the time. We need to work on that. Sorry, audience. Stop! Sorry.
Okay,
So-
I think they're in the alleyway, and
So 30-year-old teenager Peter Parker.
MJ was talking to Peter,
Actual cannibal
and then
Shia
she ran
LaBeouf.
off to the guy in the car.
Yeah.
And she
Okay.
was excited about that.
Okay,
What
so
happened
yeah.
before that?
So 30-year-old teenager Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He's a science nerd. He wins the science award.
He
at
wears
school.
glasses.
Even though that literally doesn't
Yeah.
come into anywhere because he
Exactly.
doesn't even make his
Yeah.
web spinner.
We
thing.
brought that up. We were like, why? We were like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the only reason he's a science nerd in the comics is because he makes his own web shooters.
He
He
mapes.
mapes.
Oh no.
It's because
Oh, no.
he like builds his web shooter, and then in this one, he like jizzes out of his wrist. So like, why? What was the point of him being a science nerd other than for the Green Goblin to be like, "Congrats on the science award, Peter," which is a literal line in the movie.
Congrats on the science
Oh
award,
God!
Peter.
He's like, "You graduated with the science award, didn't you, buddy?" And it's like, that's not no. And they also say advanced science at one point, and like a like professional scientist says this. He's like, "Oh yeah, I study advanced science," and it's like, no actual working scientist or person with more than an 8th grade education
at its
would say-
core such a kids movie.
Yeah,
'Cause
It
really
sounds.
But then they
the
also talk
target
about
audience.
like
Really
human genetic enhancements,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the fuck are you trying to be, man?
The more that you guys talk about these lines, it does sound very like.
Bad.
But I don't know. I think to me, Spider-Man. I think that's to me what part of its charm
Sorry, that's
is.
one of my ticks.
So, yeah,
Very
that's one of my
convenient
ticks.
for this episode.
I do William Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Spider-Man! Spider-Man!
Bikes! Look up Tom Segura.
You took!
Bikes.
Spider-Man!
Look up Tom Segura Bikes. It's a really funny stand-up bit.
But yeah, to me, I think how just like B-movie-esque the whole thing is, I think really to me adds to its charm.
You like jazz?
You like? No!
Oh my god, peek in the mic. Alright. Okay, but I am gonna explain. I know. I don't understand. What was that whip turn to me multiple times?
Like we all haven't already peeked the
I
mic
know.
15
Oh, yeah.
times
I
this
know, it was
episode.
Yeah.
But okay, so Shane, 30-year-old teenager, Peter Parker is a cool science kid, but he's nerdy and no one likes him. He likes totally, completely natural redhead, Mary Jane Watson.
Definitely
who's-
not a blonde from Elizabethtown.
Yeah, whose name is repeated every single time she enters frame, basically.
Mary Jane!
Yeah, so
Like,
either
whenever-
Mary Jane or Mary Jane Watson.
Hold on, Mary Jane!
Yeah, whenever she's in a situation where she's about to probably die,
Yeah.
and she's like
Mary
holding
Jane,
on to
watch
something.
out!
Yeah, literally 2 movies where she's holding
two
on to
separate
something.
movies.
Yeah,
And
for
she's
dear
the
life.
only one in danger.
Yeah, and he like whip turns every time. And he's like, "Hold on, Mary Jane!"
It's like,
And
who the hell else
Yeah,
would
but-
need to hold on?
But we know who you're
Mary Jane
talking
Watson, please hold on! It's like, what? But yeah,
Go get him, Tiger.
so he has a crush on her, and
Go
her...
get the Tigers.
Where do they meet at the science?
Go
lab?
get the Tiger.
Yeah, they're taking a science field trip through the advanced
She's a
science
scientist,
lab.
sorry.
No.
She's
a science.
The
She's-
advanced
yeah,
science lab.
Yeah, she's another 30-year-old teenager with a 40-year-old teenage boyfriend.
Oh.
And so
His
he...
name is Flash, by the way.
Flash.
Played by Joe, what is it?
Manganiello.
Manganiello?
No.
AKA Shitty Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Yes. But so he's in love with Jerry Mann Watson, and
Bless you!
disgusting.
Oh, I sneezed everywhere.
Gotta get those thetans out, man. So
Gotta get those aliens out of my brain.
so anyway, where was I? God, these movies are bad. So he likes Mary Jane.
40-year-old.
Yeah, he likes Mary Jane Watson. And
Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, so he likes her,
My wife.
but she doesn't like him.
My wife.
But she does like him, and then his friend Harry, who's played by Frames Janko,
Yeah.
is like, hi.
Tommy Wiseau.
He's like, hi, I'm Frames Janko, and she's like, hi. And then he gets bit by a spider.
Hold on, Mary Jane.
Yeah, Peter Parker gets bit by a magic spider.
Magic spider.
And then he becomes Spider-Man. And then Uncle Ben dies. And then he talks to Mary Jane while he's taking out the trash. And she's like, I like you, and I also like Harry, and I also like Flash.
Also, I think
she is a terrible person.
And
you watch those
agree
movies,
on this.
she's so
I can agree with that. I can so agree with that.
She's literally into, I think at one time
She's like a fucking
she's into 4 guys
from
at
her
once.
perspective.
She's like a fucking puppet master. She's pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
From what she knows, 4
And she like is
From
genuine,
what she knows.
Yeah.
she's like seriously
No, I've always
pursuing-
thought this. I've always thought that she's a really fucking
she's
crazy.
like pursuing a relationship and like teasing 4 different dudes. So it's who is
then-
it? It's Harry, Spider-Man, Peter, and then who was the 4th? I forgot.
It was Flash because
It
at
was
the
Flash.
beginning,
Yeah.
or near
That's
the
true.
beginning.
Yeah.
Like
So
right
in the
after.
first
real
movie,
Flash?
she's
Huh?
no, it's Flash Thompson.
No, that's just
He's
his
just a
really cool name.
Yeah.
What kind of stupid name is Flash?
I don't
That's a
know.
good question.
Exactly.
Ask Jack Kirby from the
Ask
70s.
Jack Kirby. Ask Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Ask him right
Hey
now.
Stan.
What's his number?
Spider-Man.
Oh, so
Spider-Man.
I
What if
have.
we just heard like,
I decided to name
So-
him after.
and we're just like, wow,
What the hell?
oh, holy Christ, that's real Stan Lee.
I'm genuinely curious because we've talked about before we watched these. We've talked about the Spider-Man movies before.
Bet.
Now you're a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, right? Because
yeah,
to
and
me-
I will say what you say, which is I saw them when they came out and
okay.
then never saw them again. The first one though,
I can
from
say
what I
the
remember,
first one is not terrible.
Yeah, I remember it doing a better job of showing you him becoming Spider-Man, because that's one of my problems with the first one, is that he has a cage fight, then Uncle Ben dies, then it cuts to a bunch of like testimonials where like it's as though the movie turns into a documentary for 2 seconds and like people are looking into frame going like, yeah, I heard about this Spider-Man character. I don't like him. And then some lady's like, 8 legs. Sounds pretty hot. And then like
it's just all John Mulaney.
yeah, and then it
Always.
randomly cuts back to the movie, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" But
See,
so then he's Spider-Man, and he's like this legend already, and he has a new suit, and like nothing. I don't know. It just sort of randomly goes from I'm a kid, and oh man, I'm sad about Uncle Ben, to I'm the legendary Spider-Man, and everyone already knows who I am. Whereas in Amazing Spider-Man, he like skateboards. He like uses his webs, and I'm like, all right.
The thing
know?
about Amazing Spider-Man is that it fills that niche that after The Dark Knight came out,
Oh yeah.
all
sure.
superhero movies thought that they had to be dark and this is a little more edgy and our guy. Because the thing that I really enjoy about the original Spider-Man movies is how stupid they are. Now, structural problems aside and character problems aside,
And terrible lines. And goofy Tobey Maguire face.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite.
See,
part.
but these are all
that's the best part. That's
these
what
are all things that whether they're not
It's like
amazing movies or
contorted.
not, like I legitimately think that it increases the value, like artistically. Oh man, I'm using big words again. Over
not
the
that
Amazing
big.
Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man movie to me kind of
I'm
tastes
using another
like
big word. Cat.
cat. Fuck, dude. Whoa.
3 letters. C
too big for me.
F J. Cat.
There, I was.
No,
I forgot my. But there's
Sorry.
but I just to me the Amazing Spider-Man movies are kind of like
The second one's probably really, really bad.
it's fucking awful.
Yeah, I don't remember
The
it
first
very
one,
well.
at least to me, isn't a terrible movie, but it's kind of like cinematic NyQuil.
No, honestly, I like blocked out the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Amazing
because
Spider-Man 2 is a terrible
I thought I
movie.
didn't see it.
Amazing
and then
Spider-Man-
Anthony was like,
Describing
"Hey,
it.
this part where he like is like, I'm not Spider-Man anymore," and then he sees on TV.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
then he's like, "I'm Spider-Man."
That okay.
When you showed me that, I was
yeah.
like, I have seen this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I wanna
was
say-
like, I cannot believe.
This will make me feel a little bit better. I want to say really quick that I believe that Spider-Man 2 does it's better. It's still not great, but they do the I don't want to be Spider-Man. Okay, I'll be Spider-Man again. Arc better
They
because
do it very
because
good,
it
in
takes
my
like
opinion.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
it's
it's an okay.
it's a little rough.
It's
but
an actual arc.
yeah, it is.
Because in
it's a
Spider-Man 2,
30-minute
he's like, I'm sad.
yeah.
I'm not sad anymore.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
He literally, he like puts the suit away. We watched it. He puts the suit away, and then he like looks up at the TV, and it's like there's a guy in a metal rhino
Paul
suit.
Giamatti.
Yeah, or like running towards a kid, and then from the time he puts the suit away to the time he comes back, it's 2 minutes, and you don't see him in those whole 2 minutes. You just see some kid dressed as Spider-Man go up, and he's like, "I'm gonna fight you," and you're like, "Oh, that's cute," and then you hear, "Hey kid, like a weird like
No, he's like, "Hey,
sultry
Spider-Man."
voice.
Hey, Spider-Man.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's like, hey, Spider-Man. And you're like, who's that? And then the camera like whips around this kid, and he's like, I'm Spider-Man. And it's
What
real
if
Spider-Man.
it was just him without a suit on? He's like, good luck. He walked away.
he like gives him the web shooter, and he's like, you're gonna need that.
You're gonna need that. You're gonna need
He just-
this.
And then it
Puts
cuts
a
to
spider
Tobey
on.
Maguire eating the hot dog. Spider-Man.
See, I actually really love that because like
Oh yikes.
that's right. Well, I mean, it's right after he drops being Spider-Man and he sees all that crime happens and he just takes the most comically large bite of a hot dog.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
It makes for a
but
really
I will
funny-
say
He's a
Spider-Man
shitbag in that movie.
Spider-Man 3 and the fact that it seems all over the place and like villains are just crammed into it. The Amazing Spider-Man
Yeah.
2 is what happens if Sam Raimi didn't have a backbone. Because the studio forced a lot of the stuff into Spider-Man 3 and he pushed it against it as much as he could. But I feel like
Did
Mark
they force emo hair into it? And
yeah,
the dancing scene?
and Venom
Thank
and
God.
like all of that. Well, I don't know about emo hair, but
Artistic treasure.
they forced Venom
Yeah.
and the symbiote and stuff in there.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I will say this, as cringy as it is, I dig the emo hair and the dancing because
Nope.
it's accurately what
the eyeliner,
nerdy.
you
I mean, they
forgot
never
about
set
that.
it up in the movies because he's always cool 30-year-old man
He's
nerdy
not.
Peter Parker. But like I think
Not
they
really super cool, but
Yeah,
he's
I-
not.
I'd say that
he's
in the
not like-
movies, he's in the first one. Everyone shits on him
Well,
way more than they should,
I
and then
mean-
in the other two, everyone thinks he's way cooler than they should.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real, because
But he's just a goofy idiot
He's
the
a
whole time.
senior in high school, and
Why?
he acts like he's never talked to a woman in
Yeah,
his
yeah.
life.
First time he meets Mary Jane, she's like, "You have blue eyes."
He's
Oh,
like,
also this line's hilarious. You know how he takes his glasses off in the first one?
Oh, yeah.
She looks at him and she's like, "You have blue eyes. I never noticed without your glasses." And then I literally paused the movie and I was like,
What?
She just did notice without his glasses. She never noticed with his glasses. And they left that in the movie. But then I hit play and he just goes like this. For you audience at home, I'm doing a goofy smile. He just like stares at her for a good 5 seconds and just goes
You know what that
back
reminds
into
me
her
of?
face. And she's like, okay, and then just like walks away.
But I think emo hair Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3 is like an accurate representation of what Peter Parker is like when he tries to be cool, because he just can't be cool. But to me, in all the other movies, they never like really. And I think that's cool, but to me, it doesn't make sense because in all the other movies, it never seems like Peter Parker is like. But I think that scene is incredible with it in mind that it's. Listen. Take your rose-colored glasses off.
They're the opposite.
I think that scene is incredible, knowing that it is hilariously bad on purpose.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't think
I
it's
could
on
see it.
purpose.
I
I
think
can
it's
see it being on purpose.
entirely
I
on
think
purpose.
Tommy would
Because
too.
it is.
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
is.
say I can see Sam Raimi being like, it was purpose, like Tommy Wiseau did, but there's no way.
No,
There's
because
no
it's Peter
way.
Parker trying to be cool, and he
But it-
cannot
but-
be cool
but the-
at all.
But the problem is that everyone in that world, like, reacts to it, like.
Now, I do think
like it is cool.
Spider-Man
Some
1.
people
It
are
is
like,
cool.
ugh, but like some people, like in the jazz club, like Bryce Dallas Howard is like mad impressed, like, and it's like, why? No.
so good.
I
so
love that.
I think it's half for I think it's him trying to be cool, and it's half for the
honestly, like
memes.
the best scene in the movie.
I think so too.
Well, they just
Of
did
any
Can
it.
name
movie.
a better scene in that movie.
Or any movie ever.
Is this good?
Have you ever seen Liam Hemsworth run in Paranoia?
Oh, yeah.
I think that might be the best picture.
Damn, that is.
Look it up. If people run like that in real life, then I'm a female.
What?
I guess you're female.
Because nobody runs like
They
this.
run with robot arms.
Yeah,
that
no,
swing
no,
side
no,
to side.
nobody runs with their arms out, elbows locked
At
at a
a
90-degree
90-degree
angle,
angle.
and they just swing them
Yeah.
like they're fucking toddler legs.
Dude, the way Peter Parker walks in these movies, no one gave him walking
Oh,
lessons.
the first movie, whenever
Yeah.
he first introduces
Yeah.
like the whole like, oh, I'm in love with Mary Jane, but she doesn't know it. Whenever they go to
Wearing
the,
Maine Johnson.
whenever they
Hold
go to
on,
the,
Mary Jane!
They go to the spider factory.
Yeah. They're like, we are advanced
they make
scientists.
spiders.
And we make science. we make
The
advanced
Spider
science
Factory.
And the way like that, just the shot alone is ridiculous because it's like, why would you hold it for that long? But she's like sitting there and then she like kind of turns around
Oh, yeah.
and then he just like walks like towards the camera for like a solid like 3 seconds, and then just stays there, and then it cuts away. I was like, what?
Or when Flash is like necking her, and she's like, oh, stop, and then it cuts over to Peter. And he's staring at her.
Oh yeah.
And then it cuts back to her, and she turns and looks at him. And then it cuts back to him, and for like a solid second, he keeps watching, and then looks away. And you're like,
that's so hot.
Yeah,
I love it when another dude kisses a girl I'm in love with.
It's like when two people make eye contact and they don't want to, they immediately look away, right?
Yeah.
No, she makes eye contact with
Peter
him,
Parker
and he's still
keeps
looking
staring.
for a second, like, oh no. And then he goes, huh! And like jerks his whole
like nobody
body
does
in the
that
opposite
except
direction.
for the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like usually people like play it off like they like look like you know, but he was like
Peter Parker looks into the eyes of those that get
obvious,
kissed.
yeah.
He's like, oh
golly gorsh!
Oh, she's a girl! And then he like,
also he made a
jumps
lot
out
of
the way.
spider boner jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Movie.
I'm
Which
gonna
was, like,
web.
my favorite joke.
Oh yeah, literally every time someone swung with him on a web and he was like holding them, I just made the joke. I like said really quietly, I was like, is there something in your pocket? Like literally every time. Because it's also always a girl, except for like twice.
I only think of
What?
oh babe, I'm in a web.
Web.
Oh, I'm in a web.
Yeah.
That's all I think of when
Dude,
we
that
talk about
happens
spiders.
twice in that movie apparently.
He's gonna web twice.
We didn't even know.
He
but
webs
we
twice.
were watching and we were like, isn't this scene like
describe
at
the
end?
scene that we're talking about where
At the end of Spider-Man 2, after Mary Jane has left her wedding and run in a Dutch angle montage
Yeah.
He puts things
across the city. Oh god, it cuts to a shot of Peter sitting like a robot on his bed.
Yeah.
Staring-
hello,
just-
Mary Jane.
just staring
like
out-
David from Prometheus.
Yeah,
he
and
sits
he's-
so calmly.
And he's just staring out
Why?
the window with a blank face.
You can't just go around killing people.
Yeah, dude, for a long- And then the camera like pans around him, or like pans around him, and you see in the background she's just standing there in her wedding dress, and it's like, okay, first of all, how did he not hear her gasping running up the stairs? Second
I
of
just
all,
ran 3 miles nonstop in a wedding dress.
Second of all,
my life's a nightmare.
Second of all, who sits knees together, like
Staring out the window.
palms on your knees,
Watching
just staring
the-
out the window,
The
sadly.
fall leaves dice themselves into unfair
Yeah.
fortune.
Also-
Insanity is a side effect.
Also, was she not? Oh yeah, in the first one, one of the side effects of the Green Goblin serum is insanity. That's not how that works.
The spider lab.
That's like a legal. That's a legal definition. It's like, oh yeah, he got insanity. from it. You have contracted insanity.
You contracted insanity.
Dang it.
It's like
Mansers.
Jeremy dies of insanity on the Oregon Trail. Like, makes no sense. But so
Your whole family has died
Yeah.
of dysentery.
So she's standing there, and he just turns, and he's like, Jeremy. And she's like, I'm standing in your doorway.
Jeremy.
And then,
Yeah,
and then
conversation.
he stands up and walks
Jeremy.
over to her. And he's like,
funniest part.
He's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I just said, I'm standing in your doorway. And he's like, what? And she's like, I've always been standing in your doorway. And she starts to cry. And then she puts her hand on his face, and his eyes roll back.
He
into
like
his head.
shudders. He looks
Yeah,
like he shudders.
His eyelids flutter, and his eyes roll back just like a millimeter.
He
and then
webs
come
in
back.
his
Mouth
pants.
open too.
Yeah, and his mouth opens.
open.
He's like,
he webs in his pants.
yeah, he very very clearly.
But that
webs.
also happens earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
for
in the
some
first
reason.
one. In the first
No,
one.
it's earlier in the second one.
No, I thought it was the first one.
No,
when they were at,
it's in the second one because Shane
you're right.
was like,
Because
Shane
she's
was
back
like,
at her old house for some reason.
Yeah, and Shane was like,
Yeah.
"This is at the end,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah.
And we were like,
he takes
yeah,
out the
wait.
trash again.
Yeah.
In the second movie,
Yeah.
and she's like sitting back at her abusive dad's house's
Yeah.
porch.
Also, what the fuck
What?
is that?
yeah,
the
just
the
random.
whole the whole thing about her dad being an asshole that happens like twice. There's 2 scenes where
Oh yeah, they totally
Where-
forget about that, don't they?
Yeah, there's 2 scenes where he's like, "Oh, bro, you'll never be nothing," and she's like, "I hate you, Dad," and she walks
Yeah.
away. And then, literally
3 movies later.
yeah, like 3 movies later, she's like, "That sounds like something my dad would say," and then that's all we hear ever about.
That's
her dad,
like
ever again.
that's
Yeah,
That was
I
literally
forgot about
all
that.
Coley. That's like in VGHS when Law is like, "You sound like my dad, and I hate my dad." Like, that's what it sounds like.
That's
It's
the whole
cheesy and
arc.
Stupid.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Hey, go watch VGHS right
Go
now.
watch VGHS. Rocket Jump. They're the bomb.
Do it right now.
Watch Tom Segura. Watch VGHS. Don't watch the Spider-Man movies. No, do watch them. It'll be fun. And then watch 8th Grade, which we're about to see.
Yeah, and watch Persona by Ingmar Bergman, maybe the greatest German
okay.
movie ever made.
What's that?
And watch 8.5 by Federico Fellini.
Stupid. It's Swedish.
I don't know how we got here.
And watch Inherent Vice.
Here we are. Oh, we need to do an
finally
episode.
watch our
We are going to do an
videos.
episode on Inherent
Yeah, also watch our videos
Plug.
if you're here.
No.
Also watch,
No.
watch the
Unsubscribe.
And don't forget to listen to our weekly sponsor, New Order,
No.
and their hit song, Blue Monday.
And we
It's
are
on.
never going to stop with this joke. How does it feel? Alright, that's it. Well, we have like 15 more minutes, so can we talk about these movies anymore?
Oh yeah, we didn't even start on them yet.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of
A
did.
little bit.
Yeah, okay,
Let's talk about things that
Let's
we
let's start
actually.
the episode.
Yeah, let's start the episode. Let's talk
All
about
right, now let's
things.
start.
As hard as it might be, things that might be actual positives, like things that you can.
I
be
said actual positives. There's
No,
an
no,
actual
but I mean,
arc
like-
there's a 30
No,
minute
like,
arc in
Only one
Spider-Man 2.
positive.
one positive, one whole positive in the whole trilogy. I will say, as great as the train sequence is, oh my god, those effects have not held up at all. Not.
Dude, it's
at
weird because there
all.
are
They
a
just
few.
copied Incredibles too, to be honest. If we're
Yeah,
talking about
100%. It's funny because like some of the times when he's like swinging through the city, you're like, wow, these effects almost look like better than like Avengers. Like there are some really good ones that definitely hold up. And then there are ones like there's one where he's swinging through the city, and then these two cartoon helicopters fly behind
At
him.
the end, yeah.
Like they look awful. They look like Play-Doh. Like it's so bad. It was hilarious.
Play.
It looked like Toy Story
That's fine.
helicopters all of a sudden.
Yeah, those effects. Some of them don't hold up
Yeah, some
well at all.
But
Also,
some of them are really, really
Doc
good.
Ock,
Doc
his
Ock.
effects
Yeah.
are
Dr.
fucking
Coctopus.
awful.
Yeah.
I
Dr.
just
Octopus.
remember CGI. What the hell's that actor's name? I just remember CGI Alfred Molina floating away in the water.
Oh,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's fake.
And
It's
that's
real bad.
that's the best one. Because
Yeah, also-
there's one where he like his mouth like changes shapes like 2 times within like
Yeah.
4 frames, and he's just like and like flies down the street, and he looks.
although
like,
I will say that
Again,
scene
I
where
cartoon.
his arms come alive and they kill all the people in the hospital. I think it's.
some of that's practical though. That's
No,
the
I
thing.
mean it's really practical. What I was saying is I think it's pretty good. I really enjoy that scene.
That scene, it's good, but it's so out of place because
I
it turns into a.
Well, I
horror
mean that's
movie
literally
for 5 minutes.
literally all of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
Is-
every single
scene
scene is a
feels out of
completely
place
different
on
movie.
purpose, in my opinion.
Yeah. That one's random. Also, the concept of you have robot arms, and he's like, and they're like, you said they use AI, right? And he's like, and you're like, wait, what? And then it's like, how do they not take over your
There's
brain?
one small chip.
Yeah, he's like,
Just
he's like-
one small
he's like,
chip.
I
I
have-
hope this doesn't get messed up
Yeah,
and cause me to
he's-
go
And
insane.
then
like-
it breaks immediately.
Yeah, he's like, I have a glowing microchip that stops the artificial intelligence of my arms from taking over my brain, which is like, what?
Blow up
And then
already.
2 seconds later, the like a second sun blows up, and then he breaks the thing, and then his arms are like, we own you now, and you're like, so the bad guy is
Oh
the
yeah,
arms?
And then my favorite part is when it's like trying to convince him to.
yeah, and they're
rob
just
a
like,
bank.
and
he's like, but I'm not a criminal, and it's like, "Marr!" And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he's like,
Yeah, it's just like-
like, I'm not a criminal, but my metal AI arms are.
yeah. They literally like have to talk him
It's
into
so
shit.
ridiculous.
Like his arms peer pressure him into
Yeah.
doing stuff. They're like,
Rob this bank.
yeah, it's like this weird like.
You're gonna rob a bank.
He's like, no.
It's like all the cool kids are doing it. And it's
What?
just- yeah, he's sitting there.
smoke some meth.
Here, smoke this crack.
Yeah, he's sitting there like, I can't rob a bank, and he just goes, and he's
It's
like,
okay.
yeah,
Take a sick hit from this bomb.
Yeah, he goes like, you're right.
I don't do drugs.
He's like, it would be
Do
criminal.
now.
He's like, it would be criminal not to go forward with my experiment. And it's like, yeah, okay. And
Yeah,
then-
he's like, yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah. And then which like also, how does the arm like know to manipulate his emotions? Because it's a fucking arm. How does
That's the
how
best
does
part.
What do the
artificial
arms even
intelligence
want?
work?
Arm defense.
Yeah, what is the arm's
What did they
motivation?
get out of this?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well,
The ability
you
to
have to
control a
program
human.
it to be
And
evil
this
in the
isn't
first
my
place.
bias. It gets exactly 0 things out of it. It just wants to
also,
destroy the world.
Whenever they're in the bank and he robs it.
Yeah.
He's wearing a trench coat and
Uh-huh.
a hat, and nobody notices the 4 giant metal arms.
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like, what the hell?
Because it cuts from Peter and Aunt May like trying to get a loan.
Yeah, and he's just
Also,
standing there and he like turns
why
around.
why
It's like,
is
what?
that scene? Anyway,
Because they have to be there.
yeah, and then it pans away because she like kicks. It's not. What's that guy's name? The guy from Community.
Yeah.
Donald Glover?
John.
Donald Glover.
John.
Stamos?
Hancock.
No, it starts with an
Oh, Fudge.
Look at it. Look it up. Look it
I know
up.
who you're talking about.
But so he's
I
there.
don't think it's
and
John.
she kicks him for no reason, and then it like pans away from them, and then Dr. Octopus is just standing there like
I'm gonna figure it out
he
before
has
I pull
walked
this up right
all
now.
the way into this bank up to the
Joel
safe
McHale.
It
door.
reminds me of Eric
I
Andre's
figured
where he goes into the car and the used car salesman's like
Yeah, with
shop
like
and he has like a trench coat and he's on top of another person.
Yeah, yeah.
He has the hat on.
But it's too
I would like to
close.
purchase a car. And he's like, hey, take that trench coat off. He's like, sir, I do not
like-
wish to get naked.
he's like I don't trust that.
yeah, I don't trust like that. Yeah.
It's Joel McHale.
Joel McHale, thank you.
I figured that out just as I pulled
Yeah.
it up.
Oh man. Yeah, and then when he rips open the safe door, hold on, I can hear you like. I don't want it to pick up on the mic. Were you like rubbing your foot on the thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's blinking.
Come on, Shane.
Sorry.
That's pardon.
What? Nothing.
Oh, okay. So he turns into like Mr. Moneybags and he rips open the safe. I don't know who Mr. Moneybags is, but it's appropriate. You'll understand. He rips open the safe and then it's literally just a pile.
It's the
of money
2000s.
bags. Yeah. It's not Monopoly.
It's not money either. It's
not
gold
a,
coins.
Yeah, and it's not a Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just a pile in the middle of the like
no
walk-in
organization.
safe. Yeah. No deposit boxes, nothing. Just a pile of bags with a dollar sign on them, with a
Money!
with gold coins in them.
Money!
Yeah, and it has to be gold coins because he throws them and then it explodes into coins and like hits people. So they were like, you know that they were like CGIing it and they were like, wait, the dollars won't hurt anybody. Someone was like, shit, just make it gold coins. And it's like, what currencies? And they're like, shut the fuck up and make it gold coins.
Doc Ock robbed the dollar coin bank.
Yeah.
Dollar coin bank.
Yeah. He robbed Bitcoin, first Bitcoin national bank.
What? Bitcoin?
I think we should call this at 2:15 so we can have enough time to
Yeah, I have
to,
an alarm.
to wind down.
Did we tell
I
them
just
we're
wasn't
gonna
sure
see
if
the
it was
movie right
lined
now?
at
Is that
2:20.
the reason why we're speaking something?
Yeah.
Tell them.
What?
Okay.
That we're
Yeah,
gonna
we
see
can
the
tell
movie?
them.
Yeah, we're going to see a movie in like an hour.
Let's see 8th grade.
Yeah, called 8th Grade by someone who we're a big
We
fan
should
of.
totally,
No.
we should totally
Joe
think of
Dunn-
something to
Joe
do to
Dunn.
put on Instagram so we can add him and maybe get on his Instagram story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I don't know what we could do
I
that
don't
would be
know.
worth him retweeting.
We could all be
Well,
naked.
no,
Was
he
all-
retweeted or
Like
not
what?
retweeted. He
or
Instagrammed.
regrammed.
I'm
It's
sure.
called regrammed, bitch.
I don't
Bitch.
care.
Dude, I'm
He-
such
he
a I'm
regrammed.
such a hip internet person. It's regrammed.
Quit
He
Instagram.
regrammed
Shut up.
just random
I'm
ones, I
basically
guess.
still quit Instagram.
He
Oh.
regrammed like really good ones, and then there were just ones of people in their car like, "That was really good," and it just like cuts off.
We just thought it's good. We liked it.
Yeah, there was one guy that had like a lisp, and he was like, "Yeah, that's really good. Go see it or don't." And then it just like
Yeah.
cuts off.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dude,
okay.
I'm about to make a couple people who might listen to this really, really happy. Shannon and Ashley, our good friends, went to a screening and then a Q&A with Bo Burnham. Should we put... I'm going to text them and ask them if at the end of this episode, or if we do an episode over 8th grade, if we can put the video where Shannon asked them a question.
We should do it
At
at the
the
end of our
end.
8th grade episode. if we end up doing
Because they really enjoyed it. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the bomb. Teehee. They'll be happy.
I did see a still that was really cool
Uh-huh.
of Ashley like sitting there, and she's like looking back, and Bo
Yeah,
Burnham's
yeah.
just like towering over
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
like talking into
Yeah.
a microphone. I was like,
It
"Whoa!"
was cool.
Whoa! Very cool!
Yeah,
Bo
they sent me a
Burnham's
ton
the
of
man.
videos, and it looked like it was really fun. He seems like a really cool dude, honestly.
It does.
Yeah.
Indeed, and
aside
I'm-
from his stage persona.
Yeah. His stage persona is rather intense.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig it.
Well, no,
I
so
really
do I.
like
No,
So do I.
I'm not
As
saying
do
I
I.
dislike it.
Yeah.
I've been following Bo Burnham since what, like the 9th grade?
Yeah.
8th grade?
8th grade. Oh my God! Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a mouth. That's just
Wow.
We are very apologized.
That's a what do you call that thing where?
Flatline.
No, it's,
Flatliners, a good movie.
Oh.
I know.
no, it's not. It's like in an ecosystem when it's just like a shelf of rock.
Abiotic.
And then
Biotic.
okay, then it's a
What?
It's
Society?
a
Community?
climate. I don't know what do you call this again? But like where it's flat and then there's just like a wall of rock and then like another flat stuff.
Oh yeah.
A plateau.
I guess.
Plateau.
There's just a giant like rock shelf plateau on our recording right now.
Spectrometer.
Anyways, Spider-Man movies are really bad.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a whole lot of time,
We
so we
haven't
can,
talked
we
about
can
it.
start,
I enjoyed it.
start winding it
Scronkey
down.
McSqueeler.
Scronkey
is
McSqueeler.
not my favorite Spider-Man. Let's rate them all.
Yeah, let's. Well, I don't. Oh, let's.
No,
let's
let's not.
Let's give
I don't
a
even
small
remember the third
snippet
one.
of.
I do want to say
voice
really,
criticism.
Talk about the newest one?
I want
A
to
little
say
bit
really.
of it?
Yeah, we can. I want to say really
I don't
quick.
think we have time.
Spider-Man 1 has an 89 on Rotten Tomatoes. Spider-Man 2 has a 93.
Ew.
0% deserving of those. Coley disagrees.
1%.
I disagree too.
I just don't
extent.
think there is dog shit. I don't think.
It's
personally.
because like
There's
the
dog
pacing
shit?
is insane. The like every scene feels completely out of place. It like doesn't really develop the like real protagonist. Like it talks a lot about Peter Parker for half an hour and then he's just Spider-Man for the rest of the movie, but like everyone already knows him. I would have liked more development of Spider-Man himself. Like him doing his first thing and like messing up being Spider-Man. And then like Tobey Maguire's face is insane and they're like even the music that like half of the songs have like a choir that's just like so it's just like be impressed like
That's
the whole
beautiful.
movie and I'm just not personally think it's not even like I don't enjoy them or they're goofy. I think that they're solidly not good films personally. I don't think they're structured well. I think that like objectively they're not good, but that's just me.
Well, here then we can just go around the circle.
Yeah.
And we can all. I think, and I do have the goggles of nostalgia on. I think personally that they're really campy, really dumb, really fun movies that kind of made superhero films viable. Whether at least in the mainstream, whether or not they are Oscar winners or not, I still think they're near and dear to my heart. Jaycee?
I think the first one is enjoyable to watch. It's very bad,
It's
in my opinion, but
Alright, I'll
it is
run off.
very.
It's
childlike.
ironically enjoyable.
Yeah. I think it's goofy and wacky, whatever. The second one I think is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
A lot better than the first one, and then the
Obviously
third one
problems, but
is not enjoyable to any extent at all because it's like past that point where it's like I'm a little kid and this is
especially if you watch them all, because then you're just like
yeah. But once you get to there, it's like no.
Yeah. When we started the third one, JC and Shane were both like, can we not watch this one? And I was like, we have to. And then we fast forwarded through a lot. Shane?
So I don't care if they wanted to make it serious or not. I don't think it was
closer.
a
You're
very serious movie, and for some reason I'm not very into like completely dividing my attention to the movie and like remembering each person's name and all the serious stuff that comes with a serious movie. Like,
Yeah, and you
let's
also
say-
don't like the talking parts in movies.
Like,
and
let's say Pulp Fiction.
You just
I don't
don't
know,
really-
just like a serious movie.
you don't really like
It's like-
watching movies.
Well, I like watching fun movies, and that's what this was.
Okay.
It's like I think you should watch with a group of friends.
Yeah,
These
and
movies.
laugh at it.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time I
Like-
say Mary
like
Jane
Kidnap.
Watson, and then you'll go to the
God.
hospital.
Christ.
And then don't drive home
Yeah.
because you will die.
Sleep there.
I
But if you
enjoy
On
enjoyed
your
the movies,
side.
On your
if you
side.
enjoyed the movies, please do drag home.
I
Yeah.
enjoy the back there.
If you liked it, unironically, please do drive home. Backwards. Upside down.
You know how
And if
awkward it
they're-
is talking to girls? Remember
Yeah,
that scene
no.
from Hereditary whenever he walked up to the
We should
main
do an
character
episode on
girl and
Hereditary.
he
We should
was
do
like,
an
Oh,
episode
yeah,
on Hereditary.
totally should.
I want our next episode to be on like Seven Samurai or some like old classic or something. Anyway,
But yeah, this is Talking Pictures, and we
talking pictures with talking pictures.
Well, no, we are as in.
Yeah, but
we're-
you said this is.
Yeah, this. Okay.
This
This is our podcast
My
with a title
shoes
gore.
hurt!
With a title gore. It's a lot of fun, and don't drink and drive.
Yep.
Unless you
Or
like the
do.
Spider-Man movie.
You like this
Which, on that note,
Yeah.
you know,
Have a good day. I think we said all we wanted to say.
and I'll finish my story in the next one because apparently it doesn't matter.
Oh no no
Doesn't
no!
matter.
So what
No,
story were you telling?
I'm not.
Oh,
no, that's-
Hereditary.
Yeah.
Talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. We have time.
I'm
Stop
not-
drumming.
I think it was in that movie, but whenever
Are we
he
still
walked
doing the
up to that
podcast?
girl,
Yeah.
remember at the
Oh.
party whenever he
Thought we
walked
ended
up to
that.
that girl at the party, the main
Oh, yeah.
character,
Uh-huh.
and was like, "Hey, I have weed. Do you smoke? And he just pulls out a
No,
book bag.
what
of
does
weed.
he say? What does he say?
No, hey.
He's like, how's
Something
the,
like
he's
that.
like, how's the party? And she's like,
No, he says something
Good.
first, like initially.
oh, he's like, hey.
Hey, oh, I didn't think I'd run into you. here.
Oh, he's like, oh, I didn't see you there. I think is what he said.
yeah.
She
She's
walks
like-
up to
something
her,
like that.
She's like,
across
yeah.
the room. I didn't
Yeah.
see you there.
All right.
By the way, do you smoke?
We'll probably do an episode over Hereditary. We'll do one over
Really would
8th
like to
grade.
do that.
We love you guys, except for you. You know who you are.
Jesus.
You motherfucker.
God, just
Mom, yeah.
die.
We see you. Yeah, no, yeah, you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know who.
Not to your left.
Not to your right.
Yeah, we're talking
You.
directly
You.
to you.
You know who you are.
If we ever see your face around these parts again, we'll kill you. I can't think of anything else to say.
All right.
Scary thoughts.
This is the end of the podcast. Play the ending track, future Anthony.